Most of the coins that people send me photos of are damaged coins, or they're coins that people think are worth a lot of money when in reality they're not. Every now and then someone sends me a photo of a coin that's worth a lot of money, and that is what really makes all of this really worth it to me. Thank you guys for watching and being part of Coin Nation, and now let's hop into this video. So up first we have a 1969 1-cent coin. If you see anything like this, obviously the coin is going to be really valuable. This was accidentally struck on a clad dime blank. There is early brockage obverse on the reverse of the coin. Bit of a mouthful there, but this one graded by PCGS, they meant to say 65, and it sold for $4,920. Without getting into too much detail, essentially if you have a coin that looks like this, the edge and the rim has what they call brockage, and it doesn't really have a reverse of the coin, it just looks like this. Make sure you hold on to it, keep it safe, because that coin is going to be worth a lot of money. Up next we have a coin that looks really dirty. The reality is it sold for $17,250. This is a 1932 25-cent Washington quarter, and if you turn the coin over and look in the back bottom center of the coin, you will see a small D mint mark standing for the Denver Mint where this coin was minted. Now when you first look at the coin, you're going to think that it's dirty, it's beat up, but the thing is about this coin is that it actually has toning. Really quickly, toning happens when the air will oxidize with the metals in the coin. This person knew that the coin was still uncirculated because it hadn't gone out into people's hands. Even with these small nicks and gashes, it was still able to grade at a PCGS 65. Remember, the highest grade we can get in grading is 70. This is the first year they ever minted the Washington quarter, and that's why this coin sold for $17,250. This is a 1948 10-cent Roosevelt dime with the D mint mark standing for the Denver Mint. This one again has a little bit of toning, but the main reason why this coin sold for $2,820 is because it graded at the PCGS Mint State 68 grade. It has a bit of toning, and remember guys, toning can really impact the value of a coin positively or negatively depending on if the toning has good eye appeal, and by that I just mean, does it look nice or does it look like a stain? This one to me looks a little bit like a soda stain or something like that, but there are collectors out there that go crazy over a coin that looks like this. Again, this coin's over $2,820. Here's one that can fly under the radar. So this is a 1942 D 5-cent Jefferson nickel with a D over horizontal D, graded by PCGS, a mint state 64 with the full steps on the back. Quite a mouthful here. Another toned coin that looks a bit strange. It looks a bit like staining, but this coin sold for $6,462, and here's why. So a lot of what's happening is going to be on the back of the coin. If you flip it over, look in the back, and you go to the right hand side of the coin, you're going to see a D mint mark. Again, the D mint mark stands for the Denver Mint where this coin was minted. This has an error on it where the D mint mark has a horizontal D struck in the same area. So if you get a magnifying glass and you look in that area, you will see the D over horizontal D, and if you go to the back center of the coin, you will see Monticello. Above that are the full steps. Those full steps only really matter if the coin is uncirculated. If it's not, then the steps don't matter as much. Collectors really like collecting coins with full steps because that is the highest point on the coin and it typically gets worn down the quickest, and it's also the hardest to strike. All these things combined allowed it to sell for $6,462.50. Up next we have one of my favorite types of coins. This is a 2000p 5-cent Jefferson nickel graded by PCGS, a mint state 65. Now a lot of people think they have an error coin when they see something like this, which if you do, you probably do have an error coin, but this is very different than if you had a coin that was, say, run through a blender, which I don't recommend doing, or a coin that was just straight up damaged. So what happened here was likely the planchet had a mistake on it, or just something strange happened during the minting process. But what's really cool about this coin is as you're looking at the front of the coin, if you flip the coin over, you will see that there is another obverse die. So this coin was struck with two obverse dies. Pretty amazing error here. I would love to find or buy a coin like this. This one sold for $20,520. Obviously, that's a lot of money, and you have to watch out if people are trying to alter coins to make them look like this. There are people out there that will cut coins in half and try to weld them or glue them together to make them look like this. That's why these third-party authentication companies are so important to the hobby, because they make sure that bad people that are doing bad things aren't getting out into collectors' hands and ruining the hobby. Again, because this coin was struck on two obverse dies that sold for $20,520. This is a 1926S 1-cent wheat cent penny here, graded by PCGS, a mint state 64 red with a plus designation and a CAC sticker, and it sold for $46,000. Really quickly, let's break down what's going on here. So this coin is nearly 100 years old. old. It was minted at the San Francisco Mint, as you can see there with the S mint mark. Anytime you get a grade with a plus designation after the grade, that is going to increase the value of the coin quite significantly. Next, if you add a CAC sticker on your holder, it will increase the value of the coin. Now, sending your coin off to another third-party company like CAC is not always worth it, but most of the time it is if it's a higher end coin. If you have a cheaper coin, it may not be worth sending off, especially because the amount of time it takes. The cost is not too much. You have it go through CAC, but the thing is, if you send your coin off to get CAC sticker, it's not always going to get that sticker. Only if the company or the person looking at the coin thinks it is qualified enough to receive that sticker. What the sticker means is this: the coin is really nice for the grade. They believe the grade is 100% accurate and it deserves the grade. All these things combined allowed it to sell for $46,000. Here's a 1916D 1 cent wheat penny graded by PCGS at mint state 67 red, and it sold for $50,400. The D mint mark underneath the date stands for the Denver Mint where it was minted. Depending on if your coin looks red, brown, or brown will depend on if the coin grading company will designate your coin as a red or one of the other colors. Depending on which color you have will depend on how much money it brings and also what collectors are willing to pay. Some collectors try to collect all different colors of the coins just to say they have a complete set. The main reason why it sold for so much money is because it graded really highly. This coin is so hard to get in a really high grade, and again, that's why it sold for $50,400. This is a 1944D coin struck on a zinc coated steel planchet graded by NGC and AU55. Now the coin has some blemishes, it doesn't look the best, but what you really need to know here is that if you have a 1944 coin, it should not look like this. It should be struck on a bronze coated planchet. Some people call it copper, bronze. They're relatively interchangeable. For this example here, it should be struck on a different colored planchet, and there are some people out there that will get a normal looking 1944 bronze coin and then they will plate it with a different color to make it look like this and try to scam people. You don't want to do that. Be careful, watch out for those. But if you have this coin, it's worth $60,375 because that's what this coin sold for. Hit that subscribe button, it really does help out the YouTube algorithm. Stay tuned for more and I'll see you in the next video.